Surge early.
And that's right, let's put that weight, in my experience, on my back. Savage
saw how much damage it does to these builds, and it eats through in a second.
More importantly, if you can find a tags, just big. Like that, Pink and Anas already turning this story on its head here. That's bait there. He sees the shotgun.
Two actually split right now. They're not going to have a lot of time to go ahead and mat up, but a big shot coming out from Clix. International stage.
Talking about international stage, Alex and Bailey, they have taken us from the player lounge to the main stage. Game 2 now, the fight, the second time. The story won't be the same. It's Yusri who finds the trade there, and now has to protect his teammate. A huge shot off to Bailey. It's not looking good for Oceania's champions here, but Bailey waits for the toe-to-toe. He gets the thirst, he needs the points. That's a kind of play you only see in person. A huge shot. Bailey says, respect me, Yusri. Back up.
He has some heals to use, but does he have the time? Not finding a way to stabilize. Bailey's going to get in, but only a sliver of HP. That's why he's picking and choosing his fights right now. He's just trolling for piece control first, trying to heal up, getting as much shield as he can, but you can see he has no HP to regain, so that knock on the Jew is so important.
And he knows he cannot allow him to get the heal off here. You will not save your teammate if it's up to Bailey. Yusri may have the health advantage, but Yusri has his back against the wall right now. The defensive trade, a huge shot, and Bailey gets caught with his pickaxe out. And Robot, but there's a huge development happening here. Let's watch this back one more time. Here's how it kicks off. Cool finds the huge tag. All of a sudden, the knock is there. And yes, there was a third party in the side. You get there, and Muzz are still in the zone, and they meet him, and that's how they get this first elim. So it's only a matter of time now as that clock rages on. Smite steps up. And there it is. The zone does the rest, and they will find their second elim now, wiping up one of the greats from NAS.
Now they got to go ahead and travel to zone, but back on board, Falconer and Hellfire, but let's just make it Hellfire because Ed was able to take down Falconer in a 1v2 situation. Now he's 1v1 versus EU. Brazil trying to stand up tall. Ed put the pressure onto those covers, but he knows when to pick and choose his fights. He hears the splashes coming out. He knows that's going on to Falconer. The shield keg as well. He's trying to stop as much of the heals from going through, but it does look like Hellfire is going to get 200 yet again.
Listen, Ed recently signed a team Liquid, showing you guys why exactly he deserves to be here. He has had some of the most impressive rises in recent times on his region, but now he's looking to represent for Brazil and, of course, for Argentina. His teammate King, who is already down. Hellfire manages to lose his teammate. The wall gets taken, and Hellfire has to react quickly, but look at that. He does not miss a beat. Ed finds the siphon, and now it's an even exchange.
Yep. Right now, the two launch pads on the Hellfire. He can abandon this fight at a moment's notice.
Here it is.
Ed with no HP, it's all or nothing. This is the moment you've been waiting for.
Here it is.
Coming through, and Ed 1v2s at East.
Brazil and Argentina are probably standing on their feet right now. Ed clutches up a 1v2.
Oh my gosh, and if somehow, some way, he found a way to get King's card, but they're on over to Chonker Speedway. The action will continue. Reason and Aqua going up against Hen and Bevy and Vortexers. They have a lot of practice going against each other on the EU region, so this is no strange fight to them.
What's scary about this is the fact that they've rotated out of the condo down to the territory of
the Surge. Now the piece control is trying to come over. They're trying to break into the boxes. It's now or never because damage is being dished. A huge shot from Aqua's onto Bevy, who's forced back into a defensive position.
Well, here we go. It's now enough in 20 seconds left, but so the Surge gets active, and they have to turn up right now. This is game number 2. Aqua needs these points here. Bevies manages to go ahead and chug splash his way down. He's back up to Vex HP. He's looking pretty solid, but Aqua not afraid by any means. Meanwhile, Reason finds a wall. That's an angle, but he doesn't like the defensive edit. That responds from Bevy and Vortexer. And now, here it is. Things are going to get dicey as the Storm Surge turns off.
Yeah, look at them. You see 30 below. Even though they're continuously dropping, they're doing damage. Seti getting one on a Peppo, probably sending him back to the lobby. His Scram goes down as well. Acorn found a way to get rebooted, but Deja Vu strikes. He goes down again to Epic Whale, who honestly is having a much better performance this go-around.
But back into the action here. Reason now down to no HP. Aqua is also on the defensive stance here. Down goes Reason. That's a huge shotgun shot from Vortexer from the side. If you blinked, you missed it, and now Aqua has all the pressure on his shoulders. He has to back up. But Vortexer playing smart, respecting the GOAT of EU. Aqua here, our World Cup duo champion, is now left as a solo. Clock's ticking here, the pressure comes in, Bevy's looking for any angle. These are all enemy walls here. One false move and it could be it, but the surge is gonna hurt Aqua. Again, he gets the heal off and no. And with the downed body, he says, you know what? I'm gonna full finish here.
A lot of these teams to try to travel to is Miro taking a couple of shots, but the team that won off spawn trying to have a much better performance. Mr. Savage and Eyedropper under siege, under pressure. Mr. Savage is gonna get dropped for now, trying to pass on the resources to Eyedrop because he knows he's gonna have to deal with a lot.
No ray on his back here. Eyedrop has to step up. Savage is down. Can he do it? He's been in so many
down, 56 below
the heal. The last game was exactly this. Half in, half out. They say, hey, we're gonna play for high ground. Vortex says, all right, you can have it. Hen says, you can have it. I'm going to low.
Yep, I gotta be careful here. Queasy and Vino both know 6th moving zone, which is about to happen here shortly, is one of those zones to where, yeah, you might have the high ground now, but with the amount of launch pads going around, the amount of threats that are in this lobby, you might have to stagger your teammates one forward, one back, just to make sure nobody is able to sneak it away.
Oh, this is looking like a tough situation right now for our champions, Marine and Zagu. Once again, leading into this game, 2nd place. No heals. Very, very peculiar spot to be in. The zone pulls far south as well. Now, they have some mats, but they will absolutely need a refresher right now. Maybe even a gifted launch pad from a team in the distance. All around them are so many healthy players. On the other side, Vino and Queasy starting to eye up the lobby, size up the rest of this game here. Booga finds Mareem in the feed. There it is. The full finish is going to start to come through. The first elim for Booga and Miro.
This is where I'm looking at the minimap right now, seeing where it's actually going to go. There's different elevations. I think whoever is able to grab a side of that mountain first will have the best chances to win this game overall, as they're still 500 above the damage threshold. Cammy, as soon as he lands, he's going to get back up to 200 along with Seti as well.
Kanata's still alive in this game as well. Keep an eye out for him, but Seti and Cammy have to defend their lead right now. 3 elims, what a way to do it so far. Meanwhile, Queasy and Vino are still on height. This is one of the toughest end zones as well. Flutter Barn has so much varying terrain. You have to be careful. There are indestructible, large stone monuments in between you and your rotate.
Nada going down, leaving Macwood as a solo. They at least got 1 elimination, so they don't have to worry too much about damage in terms of Storm Surge. But Booga and Mero, as it does shut off, you saw they were well above it. So changing up their strategy, and it's paying off handedly.
The pacing is incredible right now. Only 19 duels remaining. Things have really taken a turn here for the worse for most. Reed's gonna get burned and turned back to the lobby there as he falls, but that's still well inside the top 20. Meanwhile, Vino on high ground, looking very comfortable. No resistance. Larson and Smite are making up for where they left off. They may have not earned a huge game 1, but a great game 2. And now, Miro and Booga are fighting back.
Yeah, and 2 of the big NA West powerhouses going down. They're trying to get another elimination, but Booga and Mero, huge shots gonna be fired, but Miro's getting tagged back up. He needs that Siphon to go through, but it's still not gonna be enough. PH Sin does go down. Booga trying to be that IGL. He's trying to lead him to greener pastures, but he's running out of resources. Macwood falls. High ground though. Does Vino and Queasy still have that position onto the high ground? As Smart and Lawson, they're not ultimate low, but they found themselves that perfect middle layer.
And you'll notice Booga is now left by himself. KVR finds his teammate Smite and Larson on the ultimate low. Hen and Vortex front side firing back and on height. Vino and Queasy are looking like this is a fairy tale game for EU once again, but we'll see if NA can step up to the damage. Let's see it. Head is going to be punished and now hunted down. Smite doesn't find the full elim here, but my gosh, already at 6 eliminations. Meanwhile, we jump over. Sensen and Cole still alive here. This is where they do best. Like we said before, it's bread and butter. They know how to stick it to hip. They have to now. Cole is hurt.
Multiple top placings out of this duo. Not wanting to fall short here today, but Cammy and Seti from high ground to low ground. Another end game is going to be achieved. True Lex gets dropped. Smite's going to go ahead and lend that helping hand, trying to steal away all of that loot, but the zone is just immediately chunking him out. 4 HP and a dream for Smite.
And a huge end game right now in front of Smite here at top 5 unlocked before him. Cammy goes down, Seti goes down, and it is all his here. And now he fights back, but the zone does the rest. Great game there, but Vortex is now by himself. What can he do? Cole and Sensen now have the high ground. They've turned the story around.
I don't know how they sold it away, but Kitos is solo as well. High ground versus low ground, but it's a 2v2. Scented and Cold versus Vortexers and Hen. This is going to come down to the Wire Monster, and this is going to come down to Scented and Cold when and where they drop down low.
Once again, we are looking at an NA versus EU finish. Cold is going to get big tagged there by Vortex on the low ground. 7 elims, no builds. It's looking very, very tough. And it's the same story for Hen as well. It's all or nothing. Can they find something here? But Scented and Cold, although they have the height, they are also running extremely low on resources. But if there's a team that can do it, it is them.
Yeah, you see them trying to go back outside of zone, trying to find anything to work with in terms of Hen and Vortex. Scented and Cold, to talk about, it's up to them when and where they drop down low. The game is definitely in their hands. They just have to close it out. EU versus NAEs. This one is just a prolonged long game, but the damage is in from Cold.
And this is what we talked about. That wall, there's nothing you can do. It's all or nothing. Down goes Cole. Senses hurt too, but they have the angle. They're going to wait this one out just for a little bit and allow the zone to do the rest. Cole finds the one, and Scented finds the other. NA takes game number 2.
You look at that. The passion, the emotion.
Is played competitive will tell you the same thing. It matters, but more importantly, what matters even more so is that jump in the leaderboard positionings that we are seeing happen now for Cold and Scented. A 41 placement jump. Granted, have to keep in mind that it's still a little...
Gosh, these leaderboards always seem to surprise me because even after this incredible game from Cold and Scented, they're still 34 points behind the leaders in Cammy and Seti, who, shout out to them for holding the lead, but this is just so good from Cold and Scented. And this is the moment that we missed right here. This is the one that Cold was talking about. Queasy and Vino actually make a play, and this is actually classic for them. I've seen them do this in Elite Cups where, they try to quickly pinch a duo that is in these builds, and it usually works out very, very well, but Cold and Scented hold on very, very well, as Cold mentioned, making that instant edit, getting the shot in, and ultimately they realize Queasy and Vino were the ones on height, and let's go up and take it. And this right here, it's just all about riding the zone. Now you can see
duo. More importantly, I think that Cammy and Seti have just been able to consistently stay working throughout this mid-low ground element, despite the fact that we've been seeing a lot of high ground takes and a lot of high ground play from the close of the lobby. I think that Seti and Kimmy did a great job just holding on to this underside congestion control.
We talked about it after game 1. It's like, whoa, Kimmy and Seti are on high ground. This right here, this was more so.
We have the much larger perspective, right? For them, in this opportunity, this was the only chance they had, and we're going to start to kind of figure out what happened.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, throughout these replays right here, we can maybe catch some insight into why they actually ended up dropping down, because it seemed like they were getting refreshes. I know they specifically got one right at the start of, moving zone number 2. So it looked like they were chilling on mats. And again, right here, as you can see, Queasy actually only 2 builds left. So that was the call. Let's go try to get a refresh real quick. Unfortunately, Cold and Scented, they're so good in box fight situations, especially Cold. I mean, Scented picked him up just because he is such that well-rounded mechanical player. And Cold and Scented, one thing that I love about them is they're always on the same page. And it's always...
Is played competitive will tell you the same thing. It matters, but more importantly, what matters even more so is that jump in the leaderboard positionings that we are seeing happen now for Cold and Scented. A 41 placement jump. Granted, have to keep in mind that it's still a little